from your chair where you sit being a national college football analyst, this time last year, life was very, very much different, right? We were all trying to navigate and figure out life in the midst of a pandemic, if you will. And we were all still pretty hopeful that college football season was going to happen. We just weren't sure what it was going to look like. But one of the narratives that I'm sure I know you saw, and one of the things that kept building was, okay, this is going to be a mulligan year. No coaches are going to get fired just due to the pandemic and the weirdness of the season and the economic ramifications, the financial strains. Everyone is safe. This is going to be a mulligan. Well, what we saw happen in the 2020 season was anything but that. And of course, we're talking South Carolina. Will Muschamp gets canned. Jeremy Pruitt is gone. Gus Malzahn. Derek Mason. That one really surprised me. I'll ask you, what did you think of that narrative over the summer? Because I think it's really easy, Josh, and you know this. It's really easy to say things in June, July, even early August. But when you get in the heat of battle and the emotions start running and these SEC fan bases, they're all so passionate. When you get in the middle of it, it's a lot harder to sit there after you get your brains beat in and you're 2-7 or whatever your record is and say, oh, well, this season's a mulligan. What did you think of that narrative then during the summer? And were you surprised to see so many schools pull the trigger last season on head coaches?
I never thought there was an ounce of validity to it. I want to say what you just basically summarized could be a copy paste of the transcript of one of the videos I did in, I want to say May. It was probably around this time of year. And that's essentially the message I tried to convey. It's kind of like preview magazine season. Like, it's one thing to say these big overarching statements of, well, this offensive lineman's going to determine, dude, it comes down to microseconds and inches, the swings of any given game. And so, like, I looked at that and I said, it's so easy to say this, but some of you are in a fan base. Let's say you're a South Carolina fan in May, you're saying this stuff and you will be the exact one. I'm not faulting you. I'm just saying this is reality. You'll be the exact one when you get into November saying, no, man, screw this, pandemic or not, we got to get this guy out of here. But I'll tell you the other reason where rubber really met road, that 99% of us, and I'm going to include myself here, don't understand. These buyouts are more often than not privately funded. Okay. That means they're coming from the donor class rather than the actual coffers of the university. So while everyone was, I think, erroneously looking at how there would be big cuts in athletic department revenue, which was true, that wasn't what was going to impact this. And you know as well as I do, anyone who pays attention to financials, that 1% we're talking about, they do great in those periods where maybe the 99% don't do so great. They have the collateral to be able to benefit from that. And if those are the folks that are footing the bill for those buyouts, if anything, they're sitting there with a little bit more money than they normally have. So it was never going to stop them. I think the best example was Derek Mason at Vanderbilt. Derek Mason probably survives if it's a normal year. It probably hurt him that it was a pandemic year. So, yeah, I thought that was faulty logic. I think one of the benefits people in our industry have is very few worry about having screenshots of their statements taken. It's not like a coach. Coaches get called out for all the errors they make. Well, ironically, the crowd that gets to call them out doesn't get called out. And I'm always worried about that. So I try and be careful this time of year because I know someone's out there recording, as they should be. I don't mind that at all.